sacrifice. Let it snap, let it burn, let it hollow me clean. I surrender the ghost to your call. Black tongue, coiled around the core. Squeeze the last pulse. Rip open the door. A new soft night. In the throat of the weak. Devour what's mine. Nowhere to spare. Vision bleeds to gray. Pressure exquisite. No room left to pray. Ribs crack like kindling under your grace. I welcome the void. I seal my own fate. Life leaks out in a rhythm so sweet. Your black tongue wins, and the circle is complete.
Okay, nerds, we are back. We are doing this again. We have some reaction videos that must be done. What is going on? Why is there audio? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, lo siento. That was weird, echoey audio. Wouldn't be a generally nerdy stream if not for technical difficulties. We do have some news that still needs to be talked about, but we're going to knock out these reaction videos first. Making sure everything is set up before we jump into... Uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, we're going to do those first. Oh, good Lord. I don't know why it does this to me! Okay. Paused. Good deal. Alright. So, here we are. Doing the thing. And having the fun and the stuff and stuff. We need to go to this screen. And make sure that the desktop audio exists, because we need that. We'll pull down the microphone just a little bit, because last stream I clipped. Should have set this up beforehand, but whatever. Here we go. We have so the first reaction that we're doing is Insidious. There is a new Insidious movie, apparently. This is the 5th in the franchise, if I'm remembering correctly. Beginning, middle, and the end. Doesn't say. But it's coming in August. It is called Out of the Further. This, this is going to be an interesting thing. I have not been a huge fan of the Insidious franchise. Like, the first one was pretty good, but only kind of. It's James Wan doing James Wan stuff, so also makes it a little bit difficult to get into just because I'm not a fan of James Wan stuff. He's a pretty good visual director, but as far as horror goes, I'm just not digging it. So, hopefully, that will change with this one. I don't know if hopefully is the accurate word, but either way, maybe that will change with this one. Let's roll with this trailer, shall we?
How are you doing today? All right. Just gonna take a look inside.
Obvious man in aged makeup.
Looks like there's something stuck in here.
Tongue is not real. Oh. See, that's what I mean by James Wan stuff. It's just cheap jump scares. It's not actual horror. It's just triggering your fight or flight system. It's not making you uneasy. It's not making you afraid of anything. It's just, oh, something's going to jump out and startle me. That's not fear. That's being startled.
Dad, ever since she was born, it's been just the two of us.
Hi.
We were really happy. Had some sleep. Until I started having these dreams.
Shadow that stays
Maya?
on the wall and stuff under the bed.
I'm scaring my daughter. I need someone to tell me how to stop this.
All very played out, like James Wan tropes. Like, this is at a certain point, it's got to be like a system of diminishing returns, right?
Those are not dreams, Gemma. You have a rare gift. The ability to travel into
The
a
Red
world
Door.
between this world and the next one. But you can do something I didn't
That was
know
the third
possible.
movie, wasn't it? Was The Red Door?
You can bring demons back to the human world
Uh-oh.
permanently.
What happens if I can't control this?
Why does a demon need a gun?
Maya?
Jump scares. Alright, that's legit creepy. And jump scare. Yeah. Even in the trailers, they can't help themselves but to do the stupid jump scares. Why? Why must you? I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright, pause. To be fair, that looks like a better setup than the third movie. Or than whatever the last movie was, Red Door. Because I didn't even watch the last. No, I take it back. I did watch the last one when it finally came out on VOD, and it was at the house, and the ex loved it, but I think I was like editing videos or something while it was playing, so I don't remember much about it. But yeah, it was. I am not like that's not my favorite kind of horror. That doesn't do much for me. All right, so the other non-music reaction trailer thing that we got to talk about is actually kind of news, so pretty awesome here, and it is Tales from the Crypt is heading to Shudder. We're going to have to pause this so we can talk about it for a moment. So, if you have a Shudder subscription, they are trying to win you back after canceling Joe Bob, because why would you cancel Joe Bob? But they're trying to win you back, and they're bringing one of the harder to pin down series in the horror world, which is Tales from the Crypt. You would think that because it is an HBO property, that it's streaming on HBO Max, but it's not. And it honestly has been really hard to track as far as finding legitimate ways to stream it. You can always sail the seven seas and find it that way, which had, has happened, but there's no legitimate way to watch it so that you can show these people who own these rights that this is the kind of content we want, right? So now it's coming to Shudder. And this is the announcement trailer for it. So we're just going to watch this real quick because I don't know that there's a whole lot of reacting to do to it. Because if you haven't seen Tales from the Crypt, then you're just going to have to watch it because it's kind of a thing unto itself. So, as soon as my RAM catches up, because, yeah, there we go.
Guess who? It's your old pal, the Crypt Keeper.
The Crypt Keeper!
Horror-hungry humans.
I love
Of
it.
course you did.
With the really bad
At
puns.
last, the crypt is open, and my entire Crawley collection of terror tales has been resurrected, uncensored by our delightfully demented fiends at Shudder.
Huzzah.
All 7 seasons exhumed and ready to shock.
If you've never seen Tales from the Crypt, Season 7 is not as good as the rest. There's a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes as far as production goes. They changed a whole lot of filming locations, and I'm pretty sure the underlying underlying company in charge of production. Because obviously it's an HBO property, HBO owns it, but it moved to the UK, I believe, for season 7, which changed the entire feel of the show. It's not to say that it got bad, it just wasn't as good.
Our drop-dead guest list of pretty faces will provide quite the scream. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I shudder to think what might happen if you don't watch. Or what happens if you do. So I'll see you soon, boils and ghouls.
Boils and ghouls.
Finally screaming.
Love it. Love it. Oh, there's a whole lot more to this, isn't there? Oh, no, that's just the... Also, watch these things from the Shudder YouTube channel, because we are doing the stuff. Apparently, it'll be on AMC Plus as well. Let's see what this says. All right, so... Shudder will exclusively debut all 7 seasons of the 90s cult classic horror anthology series Tales from the Crypt, featuring the iconic Crypt Keeper, voiced by John Kaiser. Series first season debuts Friday, May 1st, with additional seasons rolling out weekly every Friday through. So that is at least one of the reasons why I would imagine they canceled Joe Bob, is because they got the rights for Tales from the Crypt. You can do both. This is not taking... Oh my gosh. Okay. So stupid. I got nothing else on that. That's just dumb. I love Tales from the Crypt. I'm not saying that them getting Tales from the Crypt onto a streaming platform is dumb, because that is absolutely freaking fantastic. But it's dumb if this is anyhow related to the cancellation of Joe Bob, because that's just not kosher. All right, so we have a couple of reactions to do. One of them is a month old at this point, and I still haven't listened to the dang song, and it's driving me a little bit nuts. But we have some music reactions that we're going to knock out here real quick. First up is Bill Murray, Where to Find Me, featuring the Novelists. I've tried to listen to Bill Murray before. It was the way it was sold to me is something very unique. What is up, Chris? Yeah, we had classic technical issues. Of course we did. So sorry, I'm really not paying attention to chat. I'm trying to knock this out relatively quickly tonight. So anyway, we have music reaction, and then we will be talking about at least one news piece. So stick around, Chris. I know the music stuff is not exactly your bag, but we had some trailer reactions here, bud. Anyway, so Bill Murray. I tried to get into Bill Murray about a year ago, as they were billed to me as an attempt at doing like heavy metal country or something along those lines. Oh, come on. All right. So I was curious what that meant, and while I can see the metal elements to it, I don't exactly understand where the country elements come into it. It seemed more like pop elements that were infused, but maybe I'm remembering that wrong. Maybe I heard wrong when I was told about this band. I don't know, but it just didn't really do much for me. So I'm going to give them a try again. Well, this is the newest release. It came out 7 days ago. The name of the song is Where to Find Me. We're not going to be picking up the instrument for this one. Just going to be doing raw reaction here. Let's go. Okay, I do hear the country element in this one. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering that. Maybe I'm remembering that backwards. I didn't hear as much of the metal as I was expecting, because so far we've got some pretty hardcore pop country going on here. So let's see if that changes. Yeah, still the same. Are we gonna get a breakdown? Because there's like heavy guitars, but it's not exactly metal. The repetitive visualizer video is driving me a little nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Slightly heavier for the solo. And it's like, it's not even good country. It is absolutely pop country with the cry baby emo pop vocal. There's no like, this is poppier than Sleep Token gets, and like, well, I don't know. Sleep Token gets really, really poppy, but this is at least as poppy as Sleep Token gets. But this is like consistently poppy. So I don't understand how this is getting acceptance in the metal community over something like Sleep Token. I know Sleep Token is super divisive, and I kind of dig them. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not trying to talk any sort of smack about Sleep Token, but like, why is this? I have heard more things about this being a legitimate project than I have about Sleep Token, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't understand. Also, far more repetitive than Sleep Token. Like, this chorus has gone through, I think this is our 5th time going through this stinking chorus at this point. Mildly heavier. And then we go back to the chorus, I bet. Oh no, this is probably the outro. Yeah, this is the outro. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It's pop music length and everything. I'm over it. I'm so over it. We're moving. We're moving. Let's go. I'm sorry, Bill Murray. I don't think I'm going to listen to you anymore. I've given you 2 shots. Fool me once, shame on you, right? All right, so next... Oh, let's close this one since we already watched it. Next, we're going to go for the oldest one in these that I keep trying to get to because I really want to listen to this a lot because it's a combination of 2 of my favorite or slightly more favorite bands. One of the moment and one from like a while ago. That's Lord of the Lost and Wednesday 13. The name of the song is I Hate People. We'll load it up and then pause it because Lord knows my RAM is just getting eaten up right now. Come on, Lee. Let's do this. All right. So, Lord of the Lost, obviously, gothy, industrial, metal. I saw them live for the first time not that long ago. It was awesome. I loved it. Wednesday 13 was the vocalist for the Murder Dolls. Love those 2 Murder Dolls records. His solo stuff has kind of been hit and miss with me. We've actually reacted to at least one of his solo tracks relatively recently, within the last 2 years. And it wasn't bad. I kind of dug it. So interested to see which will be the case. Is it going to be the case that Lord of the Lost elevates Wednesday 13, or will Wednesday 13 be a drag on Lord of the Lost? Again, not that I dislike either of these artists, but I far prefer Lord of the Lost if I have to choose between them. I far prefer Lord of the Lost to Wednesday 13. But they're both good. They're both good. Let's go with this one. Okay, so we're just going to address the political element of this real quick because that's very obviously where they're going. Once again, I love Lord of the Lost. Right now, I seriously can't stop listening to them. Haven't been able to stop listening to them since I found them like 4 years ago. They're great. I do not want this to come across as me casting shade on them at all, or Wednesday, like, just because I don't have the same political views as them, and even at this point, like, the lyrics are not explicitly against my political worldview, but they're implicitly against my political worldview, because there is definitely implication here that a certain mindset is oppressing all of the rest of the mindsets. And being as Wednesday 13 is a Hollywood type, and Lord of the Lost, I'm pretty sure every dude in that band is gay. They're from Sweden, Germany, something, somewhere where it's one of those Slavic countries, and they're very LGBTQ plus friendly. At the very least, their vocalist is gay. But I'm pretty sure a majority of the band are all into boys. I'm not casting shade on that. Honestly, I don't know that many people at least in the States, of an explicitly conservative mindset, you get into really shady territory when you start to talk in generalities like that. But, like, the blanket conservative point of view is not that any one individual is bad. I don't know. We're not going to break it down like that, because that, again, there's way too many arguments to be made in line with, well, I don't know, conservatives are kind of assholes, and like, I would tend to agree, but like, it goes both ways, I think, is the point I'm trying to make, because The line, and I'm not going to remember it because I literally just heard it, but the line about being oppressed and not being allowed to think, I think is what they said. Like, really? Maybe in Europe, but again, if you look at what's actually going down with stuff like that, I don't think it's going to align with what you think you're trying to say with this. Once again, this is another example of people not understanding the message that they're putting out there. Because from what I have seen, only one side of the political spectrum is trying to get people to stop voicing their opinion. Those same people who are trying to get the other side to stop voicing their opinion are also trying to claim victimhood because of the said difference of opinion. They think that just because this person sees the world differently, that they inherently want to eradicate their opponents because said attempted victim class is trying to eradicate their opponents. And so, like, it's this weird, like, projection. That's the word I was looking for. It's this weird projection thing. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. So obviously that's what they're trying to do to me as well. And I think that this messaging, we have to call it out. You can dig the music. So far, I'm digging the dark synth stuff. It's really cool. That's one of the reasons why I love Lord of the Lost like I do. But, like, come on, guys. I'm not saying that artists shouldn't have a political opinion, because I'm an artist and I very obviously have a political opinion, especially when it comes to social politics. I just think that you should maybe be a little bit more educated on the actual political issue you're speaking out against. Anyway, let's continue, please. That is where you should be focusing your message, right there. Never have to pick a side, never have to be somebody else. That's beautiful. Let's stick to that, please.
The one and only thing that's ever right. Whatever they tell, be true to yourself. I hate people.
Yes. And the tone. I always love the guitar tone for Lord of the Lost stuff. I don't know what it is. I wish I could. Part of it is because I'm sure they track like 7 different guitar tracks and just blur them so well. But like, I really, really love the guitar tone on a Lord of the Lost track. Another example of this whole mentality of conformity, and I am not saying, I don't know that either of these artists hold this belief explicitly, so I'm not saying that they are doing this inherently in this song. What I am saying is, generally speaking, people, and this has been something that I have had an issue with since I was a young boy, since I started getting into like social scenes, and even when I was very, very, very liberal, like, it always struck me as so stupid, the people who are trying to ostracize others for being conformists are themselves the worst when it comes to conformity. Because I would venture, if you were part of Wednesday 13's camp, and again, this, I don't know this explicitly, I am definitely just putting some my own conjecture out there, but I would venture, if you were part of Wednesday 13's touring group, right? The people on stage are irrelevant because you have a job to do, you have to look the part to do the job. I get that. That's not necessarily conforming. But I'm pretty sure that Mr. Wednesday 13 dresses maybe not quite to that level all the time when he's not performing, but in a similar fashion to that. And if you are part of his social circle and you didn't dress like that, I bet you would not be part of that social circle for very long. So it's just super ironic and a little hypocritical when nonconformists ostracize people who they deem conformists because they have a different set of beliefs in how they present themselves or the things they partake in or enjoy. Like it is the worst stance in all of alternative scene is this idea of conformity and non-conformity, blah 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 blah. Let's continue. Wars, we're not going to get there. That is a beautiful line. That is a beautiful line. I love that lyric. I hate people threatened by the truth on their lips. That's cool. Again, let's lean into more of that stuff, guys. How cool would it have been to be at the show where they're performing this song, right? Wow, this is a long song, longer song than I thought. Oh, and then we have credits. That's right, because it's a Lord of the Lost video, so of course we have credits. Oh, all right. So like, it's mixed, right? It's not all the stupid, uneducated, like, toe the corporate or toe the company line messaging that you get from people on the left often. I don't know explicitly that anyone involved in the making of this is necessarily on the left. I am just assuming, based off of the little bit about them that I know, that they are lefties. Which is fine. We need lefties. We need a balance. And that is a great way to find balance. Especially when you come across these ideas that they espouse. Some of these ideas that they espouse in here are things that both sides should openly embrace. So that's awesome. And I love it. And Lord of the Lost, you guys rock. And Wednesday 13, you did pretty damn good too. So let's move on. Our next one is the other Lord. This one just came out a few days ago. Actually, I think it's been about a week ago now because we've been putting this off for so long. Come on, meow. Pause. Ooh, that's a really cool shot. I love that shot, actually. All right, closing the previous one so it doesn't eat up all of my RAM. All right. So this Lord of the Lost, a week ago. Came out 1 week ago. Super excited to finally listen to it because, like I say, whenever we do reactions, I always do them pure and raw so that I am not faking my reaction, which sometimes makes for a boring video, and I do apologize. But I think so far we've done pretty good at not making a boring video. What do you think? Just checking chat and things. Lost them. Damn. All right. Well, okay. So continuing with our reaction stream, we have one more after this. So let's close that one too. We have one more after this, and it's a new band that I have found recently, so I'm intrigued to hear new music from them. But this is more Lord of the Lost, Days of Our Lives. I am stoked. I think this is another Swan release, if I could be wrong. We'll find out very, very soon, right? So yeah, here we go. Lord of the Lost, Days of Our Lives. I mean, I am that second mouse. That is such a cool shot. I like that. Also, like, the visual metaphor here with him in black and her in the white. Like, that's really, really cool. This is not a Swan release. There's far too much production here. Oh, I could be wrong. That does sound like just a lot of strings and keys. His voice is so emotive.
Face the darkest hour, nothing to repair. I want you to shine on, there's nothing to fear. Tomorrow will be gone, so don't shed no tear. Do you remember the days of our lives? We fade into the memories, alone without cries. When do you remember how it used to be in a world that's had it all, not enough for you and me?
I really can't tell if this is a Swan. I mean, it's... There's a lot of... So, all right, let me clarify this before we get any deeper into this. Because, what do I mean by a Swan? I'm pretty sure that's what they call them. So, Lord of the Lost, they release a lot of music. And it's really cool that they do this. But, like, every other record is... the metal, like, goth industrial metal stuff that they do that I've originally fell in love with. And then the records in between are, they call, I really feel like it's the term that they use to describe that is their Swan records or something akin to that, something Swan-like. And those records are a lot more orchestral and like classical music. This is like a cinemascape. This is kind of neither of those things, and it's kind of awesome. I'm totally digging this. But I don't know what's going on as far as like that is concerned. I'm loving it though. Like, this is great. It's harder for me to find like musical notes for these genres that I've never like produced or made myself. Like, so we're just gonna keep on rolling. Maybe something will strike. I mean, like the visual storytelling here is obvious. You know, we have a remembrance ballad. Effectively, he's remembering the loss of whoever this person was to him, while also potentially simultaneously being the bringer of death, since he's wearing all black and she's wearing all white. Like that, the implication there visually could be that he is like the bringer of death, right? He is the one who has taken the life. So very intriguing, and let's continue. There we have some bass. All right. Again, very striking imagery, but that's one of the reasons why I love these guys so much. Oh, now we have an apocalypse symbology? Symbolism. I feel like we mixed metaphors at the end. Like, visually speaking, we went from him being some sort of Grim Reaper figure to there being the end of the world? That feels like super mixed metaphors. Is he the Reaper for the world? Is he bringing upon this death to the... Like, that becomes much less intimate and much less effective, I think, if we do that kind of dramatic shift at the end. Still loved the things going on in my ears. Like, that's pretty awesome. All right, so that was the last of the Lord of the Lost. Let's talk now. Oh no, I take that back. This is well, let's load it up and then we'll talk about it here in just a second. Pause it. There we go. All right. So we're getting a little bit into the deathcore. I have no idea who the hell Crown of Ash is, but K9. That featuring J of K9 right there. K9 is a band that I have found fairly recently because I was listening to Spotify and I put on Slaughter to Prevail radio, and so K9 came on. I'm pretty sure they are also a Russian deathcore band. I don't know that explicitly, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I guess I could go look it up, but we don't got that kind of time here, nerds. So J of K9. I'm assuming that, and from that very brief spot that we just heard for the intro, this is going to be some blackened deathcore, which is kind of the best kind. So we've got that. I love the new K9 stuff, and I'm very intrigued to see what this is going to be. 5 minutes long of a deathcore track. Let's get into it. No, we're not going to get into it? There we go. Woohoo! That was fun. Off the bat, that was fun. All right, so we've got this initial screech. Yeah, but... that chromatic walk down was really like that feels intentionally melty, like that's the sound of the music melting in your ears or melting your face off, whichever. Oh, we didn't talk about who the band is. Detartrated? I don't know what that means, but that's the name of the band that's actually... Yeah, all right, let's go. Crown of Ash is the song, not the band. Sorry, that was me being dumb. I mean, that's kind of more like Blackened Death. I don't feel much deathcore coming out of this. This is just Blackened Death. This is dope. The thing that I don't understand about Blackened deathcore or Blackened death metal even is very often the band consists only of the traditional 5 members: vocals, guitar, bass, drums, right? But there's a string and or synth element to the sound that you just play to a track. Like, you should... This is one of these things where I don't agree with modern metal, in that if you're going to have that element on stage, you should have a person to perform that element on stage. So if you have strings, then you should have somebody playing strings to some degree. Largely, that's going to be a person with a synth. You have a big keyboard in front of them with a giant MIDI bank, and that's how it happens. But it'd be really awesome if you had like a 5-piece synctet. Do a 4-piece quintet, because that's the word that I know. It'd be really cool if you had a quintet on stage with you to do the string section as well, but that's not very feasible for multiple reasons. So like, I get that you have to relegate that down to one person to do strings through MIDI. But like, still, have that one person to do strings through MIDI. Have that one person be a creative element that you could, because then that changes the possibilities for what you can do live. You can extend sections. You can improvise. Like, these are things that you can do live that you can't do in the recording, which makes your live performances so much more engaging, and then theoretically grows a fan base, right? So, and these dudes seem like they're talented enough to do such things, so I don't understand why you don't just find a keyboard player to play those strings for you. It seems like a waste of opportunity. But let's continue, shall we? There's the core bit. We got the breakdown-ish. There we go. Yep, there's the deathcore. Interesting. I like the dynamics. I really love the dynamics of modern metal, even if they are a little soulless at times with the extreme precision. But also, like, I love when you see musicians who are playing their instrument in a reasonable, like a physical, reasonable place on their body. Like, these guys don't have them between their knees, like you used to see a lot back when, like, nu metal was the thing. Because you can't reach the entire instrument if you have it that low. I know James Hetfield plays it that low. Well, used to play it that low. He doesn't anymore. but like by and large, it's a very difficult prospect if you're going to be a technical player to have your guitar physically out of reach. So I love seeing musicians put their instrument in a place where they can actually reach everything, all the frets, all the notes that are involved with their instrument, especially a bass player, because oftentimes bass players just get so damn lazy. Speaking of bass players, I feel like we've got more of a production issue as far as the rock bass syndrome is concerned here, because from what it looks like, dude is performing. There is a bass track to be heard here. I'm just not hearing it in the mix. Could be the YouTube stuff. It could be these mediocre headphones. I don't know, but there's definitely some production rock bass syndrome, not performance rock bass syndrome. So let's continue. Is that the extent of his guest spot? Really? Just the little bit of backing vocal? Oh, come on. I hope that's not it. All right, this sounds like they're setting up for something. Maybe there's more of good old Jay. I love these dynamics. Like this, the orchestration of this song is pretty awesome. Not something you hear very much in deathcore. Melodic vocals. I mean, I know Of Sulfur are trying to make it a more popular thing, and Slaughter to Prevail doesn't shy away from it, but like, by and large, a lot of the dudes involved in this genre are pretty hypercritical of melodic vocals. This is pretty cool. I'm really, really liking the dynamics of this. Also, I think it's a weird thing that we've taken to just painting ourselves black now in the deathcore scene. That seems a little silly. Kind of an affectation that is not really necessary, but also at the same time, I'm digging it because sure, like it's effective. I don't know. It's a silly thing. Let's continue. I don't know if we're going to get any more of Jay. That's silly. Okay. He's doing the breakdown. Look, I can be Will Ramos too. Oh, God. Hell yeah. Alright then. That breakdown started out pretty brutal and got really nasty at the end. That was fun. Oh, that was super fun. I want to listen to that again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. while we're catching the tail end of this melodic vocal, this is another interesting production thing that's happening specifically in the very extreme modern examples of metal, like the deathcore scene and such. These producers are now, they've come full circle in that they only know how to do extreme sounds. They don't know how to mix in a melodic vocal like this, because this vocal is folded so far down in the mix. And this happens a lot on the Of Sulfur stuff too. The melodic vocal gets mixed so far down in the mix, like it's almost buried by the instrumental. And like, if your vocalist is worth his salt, like, you should be able to highlight that vocal and set it apart and have the instrumentation color it and accent it and make it better, even though it is sitting on top of everything. Like, that's, but again, that's just me. And let's actually get to this damn breakdown now, shall we? See, like, we're just kind of gnarly right here. And we're getting lower and nastier. There we go. Do the screechy screechy. And now we're doing our best Will Ramos doing a Wolverine in the Wild impersonation. And then that happens. Yeah, that's nasty. That's a lot of fun. Oh, that's cool. All right, so weird that we only got Jay as a spotlight, like, accent vocal at best. Like, he did the bulk of the breakdown at the end of the song, but aside from that, he just did like background vocals over the bridge. It wasn't even the chorus from what I could gather of the orchestration. So very interesting choice to get your guest spot to not have much of a guest spot, I guess. But assuming they are Russian, like I think they are, the dudes in K9, maybe that's all they could like really orchestrate with him. Because it definitely looks like that video of him was taken on somebody's cell phone, wherever they're from, and then emailed to the dudes in detartrated. And that's how that came to be. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm super glad we held that to the end. All right, so we have one other thing that I want to talk about. Speaking of, since we did rumors earlier, we're going to go here. And this is something that I actually screenshotted earlier today. We're going to zoom in, I say. So this is just a reminder that you can get your movie tickets right now. And then we have so let's read the tweet over on X from Mortal Kombat Movie. Trust us, you're in for a bloody good time. Get your tickets to Mortal Kombat 2 in theaters. And then we have Louis Tan chiming in with the dead pool. That is a poo emoji, right? So I was thinking poople when I was like, well, it could be poo. The dead pool, right? So if you watch the trailer, we're not going to go back and watch the trailer. We've already done too many things to get this stream demonetized. I'm not going to make anything once we turn that corner as it is. I'm not just going to keep compounding it. But if you go back and watch the trailer, there is a very brief glimpse of Cole Young, Louis Tan's character, in a room that is emanating a green light, which might be the Deadpool. I'm super stoked about that. Like, this is just a real quick thing I wanted to point out, because I didn't notice it until after I saw this, and then I went back and watched the trailer and was like, oh wow, are we actually going to get the Deadpool? And if you the very little bit that I could glean from that looks like it's going to be the iteration from Mortal, was that X? No, it was 11. Mortal Kombat 11, where we had the Deadpool in Mortal Kombat 11, where it's a little bit darker, a little more dank, a little more run down. Like, that's gonna be badass. I think there was one other thing that we can touch on since that one was so quick. I did not necessarily think it was going to be super quick. Oh, let's talk about this, shall we? Nerdy news, extra super nerdy news. For those of you in the content creator side of things, you kind of don't need Adobe anymore. And we're going to get into this, but like Blackmagic, they're the ones that released DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve 21, as far as I know, is not available to the public yet, but it is very, very close. It is in beta. I don't know when it's going to be in the main build of the DaVinci Resolve software, but if you are on the beta side of things, if you have access to the beta, you have access to all of this stuff. The rest of us schlubs are going to have to wait until it's in the main build, which hopefully is not too far out. But they now have a photo editing page inside of DaVinci Resolve. So you can now do your videos and your images inside of DaVinci Resolve. We'll read the article because I've watched a whole bunch of videos on it and I'm super hype about it. But we'll read the article and we'll get to the things about like how it's not exactly kicking Adobe out of the game just yet, but oh boy, it's definitely headed in that direction. And between this and Affinity, you're good, man. Anyway, so let's read. This is from Engadget. Many creators have already switched from Adobe Premiere to DaVinci Resolve, and now the developer Blackmagic Design is going after Lightroom and Photoshop. Maybe more Lightroom than Photoshop, but let's continue, shall we? The Australian company just unveiled DaVinci Resolve 21 in beta at the NAB 2026 broadcast convention with a brand new page called Photo, designed to let you do things like crop and color correct still images. At the same time, the new version introduces video AI tools that can age a subject or reshape their facial features. This is so awesome. We're not going to get into it because I don't have access to the beta, but there are plenty of creators in the DaVinci Resolve side of things that are doing breakdowns of each of these tools individually. It's super cool. A lot of the stuff, not all of it, but a good chunk of this stuff is free. The face shaper is not on the free side. The image stuff is on the free side though, so you can do a vast majority of the photo stuff for free. You do not have to pay for the service. Anyway, DaVinci Resolve has always let you edit photos as clips on a video timeline, but now it's greatly simplified with the photo page. You can import and manage photographs, including RAW files from Canon, Fujifilm, Nikon, Sony. The Fuji, I feel like, is less, but also Lexar is one that they don't have full support for yet, but it will be soon. Directly into the new page. Then you adjust them using node-based color page that offers similar and arguably even more powerful tools than Adobe's Lightroom. Just as with video, the color page includes primary color correction, curves, qualifiers, and power windows, along with noise reduction, sharpening, and more. However, Resolve's node-based workflow really shines for photo editing. You can add nodes in series or parallel to build complex grades, then save them to apply to other images or entire photo albums. You can also reframe and crop at their original source resolution and aspect ratio without affecting the original image quality. It's super, super powerful for free. How awesome. All right. I really got to get going on the how-to content channel because this is just too good. Anyway, the Lightbox lets you see the entire album with grades applied. Select any image and grade it live while seeing the results update across the whole collection in real time. Filter by graded, ungraded, or star rating, flag, and clip color. Blackmagic Design explains in press release. Albums, meanwhile, let you build collections like you do in Lightroom. Those also appear as timelines in the color, cut, and edit pages for easy access. For pro photographers, the color page includes camera controls that let you tether a Sony or Canon camera to Resolve for live image capture, which is awesome, while adjusting settings like ISO, exposure, and white balance. You can save capture presets to lock in consistent looks before customers shoot, according to Blackmagic. Other Resolve tools also work with the photo page, like the AI Magic Mask that lets you make one-click selections of any object or person. Also possible to do advanced VFX on still photos using Resolve's Fusion page, or an Open Effects or Fusion Effects filters directly on the photo page. How freaking awesome is this? Finally, you can collaborate with others while using Blackmagic Cloud, though it does require a paid subscription. So that's one of the things you will need for to pay for as it applies to the photo page. There's other things we're about to touch on here that are going to change. They're going to be really interesting as well that are rolling out with 21. But briefly tested the photo and color tools, and as someone who's admittedly familiar with DaVinci Resolve, I found it easy to grasp. It's simple to import and organize images, easier than Lightroom in my opinion, the author of this article, and is as powerful as Lightroom's develop page for most adjustments, though I really missed the latter's clarity tool, which if you're overusing the clarity tool, then you really need to readjust your workflow, I think, because it's not necessary. Like it's for a quick edit, it's good if you're doing like thumbnails and stuff, but for a client, you're not going to use a clarity tool that much, if at all, really, because that just makes it look unreal. Anyway, the node-based workflow is powerful, and Resolve makes it easier to apply adjustments to multiple images when you're ready to export. What's done, though, a special photo-only version of the export page is is relatively intuitive as well. Blah, blah, blah. Whether or not I'll cancel my Photoshop Lightroom subscription remains to be seen, however. On top of the photo page, Blackmagic Design introduced a number of new features. We're not going to go into those necessarily in detail, but they have a lot of really cool stuff that they're doing with AI that's not AI slop, it's AI tools. It's using the AI to recognize this is a face, and these are the ways that we can change this face. They have an age tool where you can make the subject older or younger. They have a tool that you were seeing here. Oh no, that is the age tool that they're showing. They have another tool where you can affect the size of the individual elements of the face. There's a whole bunch of blemish removal, decoloration, blah 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 blah. A lot of stuff that's coming out with 21. And 21, if you have a paid subscription, is not going to be a paid update to DaVinci. So if you already have paid for your, it's not a subscription. If you have already paid for your software from DaVinci, 21 is not going to require you to pay the upgrade fee that they do sometimes between versions, at least as far as I have seen. That could be different. I could have misread that, but from what I have seen, it is not a paid update. So you will still get to upgrade to 21 from 20 if you bought it 20 like I did. So, super exciting things. All right, I think that's honestly all we have time for today, but we did knock out some of the best stuff. So we're just going to continue at that. Thank you so much, nerds. I'm going to get back here. Thank you very, very much, nerds, for joining me here on yet another stream. 2 streams in one day. How awesome is that, right? But thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to check out the merch store so you can grab your Phantom Nerd merch. Music Nerd is the way to go. Or, you've got the DUBBY. You can always go down and check out DUBBY.gg. Use code GenerallyNerdy at checkout for 10% off of your entire cart. That is kind of an amazing deal as well, so go do that. And yeah, I appreciate your faces, nerds. I gotta head out. I've got things to do, places to be, food to make, food to eat. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.